Yeah, what up, YouTube? Here with a post-fight recap review video for the Chris Eubank Liam Williams fight. Um, I'm gonna get the results out the way first. You already know the results of this fight. This fight happened a few weeks back. Chris Eubank earned himself a unanimous decision win over Liam Williams, and Liam Williams' hometown, by the way. Chris Eubank went into Liam Williams' backyard in Cardiff, Wales, to not only put on a good fight, but to win the fight as well. Um, it was a entertaining, hard fought, intriguing fight. As a fan, I was satisfied with the fight that these two fighters put on. Now, with that being said, let me get into the post-fight analysis of this fight between Chris Eubank and Liam Williams. Yeah, I personally had the fight score 115 to 109 in favor of Chris Eubank. Now, if I want to break it down in simpler terms, it would be 7-5. I had 7 rounds for Chris Eubank and 5 rounds for Liam Williams. But the reason why it's not scored 115-113, but instead 115-109, is because Chris Eubank scored 4 knockdowns during the fight. 3 knockdowns in the first 3 rounds. Pardon me, the first 4 rounds. In the 3rd round, there was no knockdown. And in the 11th round, he had scored yet another knockdown. So there was 4 knockdowns during the course of their fight. And that played a major fact into Chris Eubanks' reason to how he was able to pick up that unanimous decision win. Those 4 knockdowns definitely for sure played a part to Chris Eubanks' win. Like I said, it was a close, hard-fought, competitive fight between the two fighters, but the knockdowns were the difference makers for their fight. But like I said, I had the fight score 7-5 rounds for Chris Eubank, so Williams was not out the fight. So that goes to show you, that was the major reason to why Eubanks won the fight. But that's not all to why Chris Eubanks won the fight. Chris Eubank, I think he made improvements when it comes to general movement in the ring, his counter punching, his footwork, and his timing. And he displayed all that throughout this fight against Liam Williams. In the beginning rounds, Chris Eubank, he was countering Liam Williams' pressure and aggression. He was timing Liam Williams coming in for his attack very well, moving around the ring very well. And he was able to catch Liam Williams off guard a lot of times before Williams could really, get in there to put in work against Chris Eubank. He would knock him down with a stiff jab, caught Williams coming in with a stiff jab. That was the first knockdown, which happened in the first round. Then in the second round, he would catch Liam Williams coming in again with a short left hook, and that will put Liam Williams down. Then in the 3rd round, Liam Williams seemed a little more hesitant. And mind you, those first 2 knockdowns in the first 2 rounds were not really heavy knockdowns for real. It was like more of a flash knockdown where it caught Liam Williams off guard. It was one of those punches that he ain't see coming. That's what put him on his ass. And he didn't really look like he had his legs up under him from the beginning of the fight. I don't know if he was starting slow for this fight, but he just did not have the rhythm or the legs and balance up under him to carry himself on his feet while getting caught with those surprise counters by Chris Eubank. And then in the 4th round, Chris Eubank will catch Liam Williams coming in with another short left jab, once more knocking him down for the 3rd time in the 4th round. And in the beginning rounds of the fight, like Liam Williams was, behind on the scorecards by a wide margin, with having 3 knockdowns in the first 4 rounds. But by the 5th round, that's when Liam Williams would turn things around and he would show signs of desperation as he started, adding more pressure towards Eubank, started coming out more aggressive, throwing more punches and taking more risks. trying harder at cutting off the ring, and his volume punching was helping him against Eubank, especially cutting off the ring against Eubank and slowing down his movement and not giving them so much room to counter. And it was very hard for Eubank to time Williams, unlike the beginning rounds where Williams was showing. I don't want to use the wrong word. I say was starting off slow. That's why he was able to time Williams a lot easier in the beginning rounds compared to the mid rounds, because Williams really stepped on the gas pedal once he realized, oh, he's been knocked down 3 times in the first 4 rounds. So that has to mean, he's really behind on the scorecards. And I'm sure his corner was getting in his ears like, hey, like, you got to really step it up to catch up on the scorecards. But that would basically be pretty much the story throughout the fight. Liam Williams being the aggressor in the fight, working on volume and trying to cut off the ring and limit the movement, and counter punching from Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank was still trying to fight the same fight that he was fighting from the beginning, and that's counter punching, moving well around the ring, showing good ring generalship, good timing, and catching Williams coming in for his attack, and catching him with good time shots and catching him off guard. And in the 11th, once more, he would knock down Liam Williams for the 4th time. But I thought the 4th knockdown was kind of questionable, because it looked like they kind of tangled and while they was tied up on the inside. But Eubank was staying active, throwing punches while on the inside to try and get Williams off of him. He did land those punches, so technically that is a knockdown, but it didn't look like it was like a clear knockdown from a punch, but more like a mixture of punches and them two tangling while on the inside. But nonetheless, none of those knockdowns really looked like it affected Williams in a dramatic way, because he didn't look devastated or hurt really by those 4 knockdowns, but rather it was like a flash knockdown where it kind of woke him up, but it didn't, what do you call it, dismotivate Liam Williams. It rather put a fire up under his ass to, stay more active and not give up throughout the fight. I thought it motivated him more in a positive way to keep going, instead of letting those 4 knockdowns get to him, to be like, oh, I'm really behind on the scorecards, and making more mistakes. And no, I thought Liam Williams played it all very well. It was a highly competitive fight, but like I said, Chris Eubanks picked up the win, rightfully so. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between the 2 fighters. I'm seeing some improvements from Chris Eubank. He's trained by Roy Jones Jr. And I could see that Roy Jones style rubbing off on Chris Eubank, especially with the footwork, with the upper body movement, and the timing and counter punching, just a style in general. I could see that Roy Jones influence, and I think Roy Jones is a hell of a trainer, and I think it's a good thing that Chris Eubank has gotten with Roy Jones to work on his game. And this puts him in the mix. He's always been in the mix in the middleweight division. I think he beat Liam Williams, who put up a valiant effort against Demetrius Andrade. That was Williams' last opponent before getting in there with Chris Eubank. And this is what 5-6 straight wins for Chris Eubank. And I think that puts him in title contention to maybe challenge Demetrius Andrade. We'll see how he performs against Boo Boo. If he does challenge Boo Boo for the WBO middleweight title. And I think Chris Eubanks is a marketable name to where he could be a high quality opponent that Demetrius Andrade has been looking for throughout his whole career, because let's face it, as good as Andrade is, he lacks when it comes to quality opponents on his resume. And Chris Eubank is a marketable name, that household name that Andrade has been looking for to put on his resume. I'm not saying Eubanks is completely out the fight, but I would for sure say Andrade is the favorite in that fight. But I'm sure Chris Eubank would love to challenge for any of the legit world titles at 160. If not, you have Jermall Charlo. He also has that same issue as Demetrius Andrade as far as not having enough quality opponents under his belt, but he holds a WBC title. And like I said, I'm sure Eubank and his camp would love to challenge for any major world title at 160 pounds. And then you also got Murata, the WBA champion over in Japan. Then you also have Triple G, who's the IBF middleweight champion. So he has some options. 6 straight wins for Chris Eubank. I think that's enough for him to challenge for any of the middleweight titles. If not, you have the Commonwealth middleweight champion, who's undefeated, by the way, Cash. I think he's like an up and comer. I think Chris Eubank, the England's got the best local scene when it comes to boxing. So I think as far as them putting on a good local domestic bout, I think that would be a good look, especially in the local English scene out there. If Chris Eubank challenges what's his name? The current Commonwealth middleweight champion who's undefeated, Felix Cash. He's a young dude, up and comer. I think that would be a good local bout. If not, as far as Liam Williams goes, he's coming on from back-to-back L's. But it came from undefeated WBO middleweight champion Demetrius Andrade, and he fought a hell of a fight against Chris Eubank in his last outing. So that would be a good test for Felix Cash if he were to get in there with Liam Williams. But this doesn't completely put Liam Williams out the mix. I still think he's up there as far as one of those guys in the mix at 160 pounds. And like I said in my previous videos, I talked about the future of the middleweight division. It's not the most intriguing weight class at the moment right now, but it's still got some compelling fights that could be made. So with that being said, don't count your boy out yet. And as far as Chris Eubank, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He's made some improvements, especially like I said, on his defense and movement and timing and counter punching and all that. Like I said, I think this fight catapults him into a title contention for his next bout potentially. Now with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section, and if you got a video talking about this fight, giving y'all analysis on this fight, I'd love to check it out too. And if y'all want me to check it out, y'all go ahead, send me y'all video, and subscribe, share if y'all want, all that good stuff. Anyways, I'm out. Y'all be safe, be healthy. Peace.